Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's latest. And today we're going to talk about Shane McClanahan is finally back on the bump, and he looked just like himself from the past. So that is very exciting to see, as well as the team was in a split squad action this this past Tuesday, where they played home and away, kind of just in their spring training roster, split into two per se, where they one team goes on the road, one team plays at home. So I'll get into that as well. But first, Shane McClanahan, my favorite pitcher ever, is back. And he throws two scoreless innings, 23 pitches, looked fantastic doing it. And just seeing him back on the mound again, it's been a while. 2023 was his kind of his last action, full kind of go on the mound. And seeing him back is great for Tampa Bay Rays and great for me because I do love Shane McClanahan. Also, being a left-handed pitcher myself, I do think Shane McClanahan is one of the best left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball. And when he's fully healthy, he is bar none one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. He was an All-Star game starter in his last main season that where he was really good. And I think that just the injury bug has kind of just gotten him over the last couple of years. And I think just him being healthy is all he needs. And I don't think there's anything else to kind of keep him from being that elite player that he is than just in staying out of being injured. And so get kind of obviously he lost his father in January, which is really upsetting. It's sad. It's no, nobody ever wants to lose their father, let alone at the young age that he is. And it's tragic and it sucks. And I understand that kind of having to overcome that is not something that I would ever want to do. And I can't imagine what he's gone through and what he's been going through. But just him being able to come back into that and kind of more or less dedicate and say that he knows his father is watching him pitch is something that's great. And some just excerpts from what he said. He says, I forgot that's how you're supposed to feel on the mound. I forgot what feeling good feels like. Definitely took that for granted my first few years in the league. I needed that. That was fun. And he goes on to say, he says, he threw the ball really well. Kevin Cash goes on to say, he says, he threw the ball really well, a real professional outing. He pitched, just encouraged the way that he was able to get all of his pitches in the zone, out of the zone when he needed to, let the defense play, didn't put added pressure on, just very professional. Said, our focus is still throttling as we can, as we kind of continue to callous over. I think it's proper to do that. I think it's a responsible thing to do, but I think we also understand that there's going to be a certain percentage of intensity that you can't account for that is just going to naturally happen. And Shane was up to 96.7 on his final out. Kind of just to go back on that because that was what Kyle Snyder came out and said on Monday, and then his final fastball was 97 miles an hour, which is a little bit lower than what the typical Shane McClanahan is in his second inning. But he is coming back from obviously arm injuries and bodily injuries, and him throwing 97 in kind of just spring training, feel it over kind of outing it's kind of good to see. He said, I thought that was a good sign. Just going to stay right there, just keep it under control and more as of a pitcher as opposed to a thrower. And he said, compared to where I've been previously with the intent of everything and the intensity of max effort, that was fun. That was a lot of emotions right there. He said, I felt my dad there. He said that was exciting. First game he's missed in my life and definitely took those emotions with me a little bit. So obviously he he's feeling all of those crazy different emotions and kind of just being there's only so much you can do as a player when you go through something like that, and obviously it takes a bigger person to overcome things of that nature, and especially from a sports perspective, people have no idea just regular life. Like obviously, you lose your parent, you lose your significant other, you lose whoever it is, and it sucks. It's the worst thing that you could ever go through. It's unimaginable. Never want to have to go through something like that. But him being able to, from a sports perspective, kind of just be like, my dad has been to every single baseball game that I've ever thrown in and I've ever played in. Like, and now he's not going to be able to watch me play in person ever again. He's obviously going to be able to watch me play every game just from a different seat. And so it's interesting to kind of see how he goes about that. And obviously he shows how he feels and he shows how everything's kind of going on within him. But I think it's great that he's kind of coming out and just being that person that he obviously can be, and going through all the emotions that he's been through with the injuries, with the loss of his father, everything like that. It's great. It's very great to see him back into where he kind of was, and just seeing him progress over the next couple weeks and months into the season is gonna be great to see. But I want to talk about the split squad day. So obviously, this happens quite often during spring training where teams will send half their roster on the road, half them play home. Obviously, the people who play at home are more of the vets. So McClanahan, he pitched in the game at home today, as well as Taylor Walls, Yanni Diaz, Cedric Mullins, Velati, Fiducia, Williamson, DeLuca, guys that are more mainstays in the major league are going to be the ones that are staying at home, obviously. And Kelly, Cook, Rock, Sulcer, Baker, that they all pitched in the game at home as well. And like I said, McClanahan looked great. 2 innings, 2 hits, 1K, no runs. Baker had a little bit of a shaky outing. 1 innings, 2 hits, the only run in the game given up. And then the rest of the pin was lights out. Obviously, Kelly, Rock, Cook, Sulcer, all 1 inning, combined 3 hits, 0 runs, 4 strikeouts between the four of them. It's good to see people like that just consistently being able to produce out of the bullpen, put up zeros. Taylor Walls went 1 for 3. Yanni Diaz went 0 for 3, but he did have a run scored. Cedric Mullins went 1 for 2 with a walk. Fraley 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Velati 2 for 3, brings his average up to 211 on the spring, which is a little concerning considering that we have that massively stacked outfield room. Fiducio went 0 for 2, that drops his batting average down to .083 on the spring, which I talked about this past episode. A little concerning for him, I think. And I saw a couple of your comments. Fortes and Fiducia are never going to be the number one catcher option between the two of them. It's just not going to happen. But it's just the matter of which one are you going to pick. And so it's interesting to kind of see how they deal with both of them in that perspective. And it's more of the which one which one is going to play more. And obviously I think Fortes has kind of taken that role a little more. But in the other game against the Twins today on the road, Carson Williams went 1 for 3. Malloy went 1 for 3. Simpson went 2 for 3. Davidson went 1 for 3 with a walk. Melton went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Xavier Isaac went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, which is a little concerning, but it's been a while for him. He's kind of been on and off. Brady Hopkins, 1 inning, scoreless, 2 walks. 2 walks are a little concerning, but he's obviously just needs major league time, and he will get that over time. And Logan Workman went kind of had the more of a struggle where he went 2 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks, which the 3 hits and the 3 earned aren't as concerned to me as the 3 hits and the 3 walks are. And I think that being able to just nullify any free passes will save pitchers and save anybody in general problems in the future. So Nichols, 2 innings, 0 earned, 3 Ks. He looked great. Martin, 2 innings, 1 walk, 2 Ks, no runs, looked good as well. And in this game, we scored all of our runs in the first inning. Chandler Simpson, RBI single, Logan Davidson, RBI single, Jacob Melton, RBI single, Sable grounded out, RBI, Xavier Isaac, RBI single. That's 5 runs in the first inning. We didn't score anything else after that. And I just listed off 5 hits right there. We only ended up with 8 for the entire game. And obviously, it's a split squad game, so things like that are going to happen when the rosters are super thin in that nature. And obviously, when you don't have all of your starters playing, who really cares at the end of the day? But we won both games, so that's good to see, good to look at. I like winning. It's great. And I think that just McClanahan getting into form, Yanni Diaz staying where he's at, Aranda, Simpson, Mullins, Sim, Mangum, or not Mangum, sorry, Melton, people of that nature just staying in the right form and just continue to produce is all I can ask for. But you guys let me know what you guys think about Shane McClanahan, especially, and kind of where you see him falling into this season, as well as if there's any other tidbits and things of that nature that you guys just have on your mind. Please let me know, and you guys have a great one.